Okay, in this video, I'm going to go through each problem of the 7.3 quizzes. So, definition of parallel lines. Two lines are parallel, they must have the same slope, and one other of these is true, the lines don't intersect. So, parallel lines, remember in geometry, we would put to indicate, these do not look parallel, do they? But if I put these little arrows here, now it means that these are parallel. Okay, and then now just identify equations. Which two of these have the same slope? So that if you compare y equals mx plus b, which two have the same m? The number in front of the x, these two both have 12. This is negative 12. And these two are not the same. So it's got to be these two that are parallel. Okay, if two lines are perpendicular, that means they cross at a right angle. Or maybe they look like this. So that would be this one. The lines intersect at a 90-degree angle. Now there's two other things that are true. Slopes must be the same? No. Both must be positive? No. If we had two positive slopes, they wouldn't necessarily cross at a right angle. But these other two things turn out to be true. I'm going to start here. The slopes have to be negative reciprocals. So example of that would be 2/3 and negative 3/2. Or we could have 1/4 and negative 4/1. Or even 1 and negative 1 are negative reciprocals of each other. And notice what happens when we multiply these together. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6, and 3 times 2 is 6. So this equals negative 1. What about this one? 1 times negative 4 is negative 4. 4 times 1 is 4. That equals negative 1. And of course, 1 times negative 1 is negative 1. So the product of the slopes is always negative 1. Product means multiply. So now we can do some equations. Which two lines are perpendicular? So look for that reciprocal relationship. And it has to be negative. One negative, one positive. It doesn't matter if the fraction is negative or if the whole number is negative. It just has to be one or the other. So this one's negative. This one's positive, 3/1. So these are reciprocals and negative. So they're perpendicular. You could check this on Desmos, type in the two equations and play around with it. 1/3, some common mistake is to pick this one, but if both lines are positive, if both slopes are positive, these will not make a right angle. It'll look something like this again, and that won't be a right angle. Okay, which line's parallel? 2x plus y equals 5. Now this one is not in slope-intercept form. We have to get the y by itself, and right now the 5 is by itself. So we have to subtract 2x on both sides first, and now compare it to the formula y equals mx plus b. The slope is negative 2. So we're looking for the reciprocal of 2/1 would be 1/2, and since this is already negative, we're looking for an equation that has a positive 1/2. Oh, sorry. No, I just messed up. We want parallel. This would be for perpendicular. So if we just want parallel, we just want to find one that's the same. So which one has negative 2? That would be this one. Okay, if we wanted one that was perpendicular, we'd be looking for something like y equals 1/2 x and then plus anything. That would be perpendicular. Okay, which line's perpendicular? Okay, here we go. Perpendicular. So watch out for those terms. If this slope is 2 already, this is in slope-intercept form, so the slope is 2/1. Reciprocal of that would be 1/2. But since this slope is positive, we need this one to be negative. So that's going to be this option right here. Okay, number 7 is probably the hardest one. Which of these is parallel? Now, none of these are in slope-intercept form, so we have to really do a lot of work. We have to get all of them in slope-intercept form. There's no shortcut. So we're going to have to isolate the y variable. So we're going to have to move the 5x over here. and get, I'm going to write it like this, negative 5x plus 8 instead of 8 minus 5x. It doesn't matter which way you write it. And now I'm going to divide everything by 2. So our slope is going to be negative 5 halves, which is negative 2.5. Y-intercept is going to be 4. 8 divided by 2 is 4. This 2 looks horrible. Okay, and then now we need to compare that. Which one of these has the same slope? Well, I don't know. You can't really tell by looking at it. So you're just going to have to go one at a time. And that's why the better you are at solving for y, the quicker this is going to be, right? If I subtract 2x and then I divide by 5, I can quickly see negative 2 over 5 is not the same as negative 5 over 2. They're reciprocals, so it's not parallel. So let's get rid of that one. It's not the first option. And now we could go through, can kind of tell this is not going to be the same option either, because you're going to end up dividing by 2. Oh, this could be, you can kind of look at the y's and see what you're going to end up dividing by, and it might help you. So yeah, there's really no other way around this. Let's see what happens here. If I subtract 5 on both sides, I would get 6 minus 5x. If I divide by negative 2, okay, I get negative 5 over negative 2, but I need this to be negative 5 over positive 2. So it's not that one. And I can tell, actually, it's going to be this one. And that's because I've done this one before. So if we add 10x to both sides, let's see what happens. We get 10x plus 9. Then we divide by 4. Actually, you know what? I forgot. I did this before, but this is not right. It's not this one. Because 10 over 4 is not the same as negative 5 over 2. This is positive, and that's negative. So it has to be this one, the very last one that we try. So let's just show why that is. If I add 10x to both sides, I get this. And if I divide by negative 4, now I get the right slope. 10 over negative 4 is the same thing as negative 5 over 2. The negative sign doesn't matter where it is. These are both equal to negative 2.5 regardless. Phew. Number 8. Which line's parallel to y equals 5? Well, this is a horizontal line. So we're looking for another equation that looks basically the same as this, except it has a different number. So that would be this one. X equals 5 would be a vertical line. Okay, and these would both be positive sloping lines, sort of like this, or like this. So they wouldn't be parallel to a horizontal line. Okay, and number 9, which line's perpendicular? So now we want a vertical line. If y equals 5 is horizontal, then we need a vertical line. And vertical lines don't start with y equals. They don't have a slope. They start with x equals. Y equals x would be a 45-degree angle line, slope of 1. So x equals 2 is going to be perpendicular. We could draw a little coordinate plane here. X equals 2 is just going to be a vertical line that goes through 2 on the x-axis. Y equals 5 is going to go through 5 on the y-axis. So of course those are going to be crossing at right angles. Okay, question 10, last one. Which lines are perpendicular to each other? So we have to just look for the reciprocal relationship. And you might notice none of these are fractions, but it's kind of a sneaky one where these are going to be perpendicular because this one has a slope of 1 and this one has a slope of negative 1. And 1 over 1 is the reciprocal of negative 1 over 1. So you could graph these on Desmos. They would definitely be perpendicular. Okay, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful.